Okay.
Yeah, so it's got your standard ratchet handbrake. Now with this pin, it has a spanner that locks it on, so you can hold it whilst you screw it on and take it off.
So what's
it has
this one there?
a grease nipple.
Okay, yeah.
So it is, because it's a swivel hitch, keep that grease on a regular basis. Now this one's a breakaway system, so it needs to connect direct to the vehicle, not to any of these shackles or hitch, because if that all comes away from the vehicle, it pulls this pin and applies the brakes to the van, hopefully pulling it up in time. Now, all your plugs. So do you have a 12 pin?
And a Ando?
Yep, and is the 12 pin wired for the electric brakes?
Yes.
And for the disc brakes? So there's an extra wire for the discs.
It's got the same,
So
basically...
number 9?
9 and 8.
Yep. So your earth and your hard wire for the power of the brakes.
Yeah, and then...
Otherwise you're not going anywhere today.
No, it should be right.
That's always the first thing I check, especially with discs. Now, there's all the little ones, your trailer lights. The larger ones are those power supplies.
Yeah, and there's only the 2 on
So,
the...
yep,
on
9 and 10, which power that disc brake system.
9 and 10 or 8 and 9?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
It's one of those two. One's got to be an earth, one's got to be a power supply.
Yep.
So as long as it's wired, we'll soon find out when we hook it up.
Yep.
Now, yeah, camera for your monitor. So this one's got a little groove, work the groove in, then
Because it's not
slide it
hooked
up.
up yet?
Yep,
Don't have any?
camera, yeah, it's inside there. Then
Okay.
screw them together. Grey innocent plug comes from your car's charging system through the house batteries, so it charges as you drive along as well as your solar. So best place to store them is up over drip drying, so they're not collecting with water.
Okay.
Now you get the standard jockey wheel from Lotus,
Yep.
which is heavy duty industrial one, cope with the bloody ball weight. Glad you got the electric, because these are shockers. They're basically just designed to roll them on and off the trucks.
Okay.
So the electric one's nice and easy, comes with its own little light, and then you've got the extend, so up and down.
Up and down.
It does have a backup winder, which is inside in the boot there, so you just spin there and have to hand wind it if something fails. Batteries go flat, all that sort of fun stuff to keep you on your toes. There's stone guard. Now, one for your gas bottles. Come on. Fucking I've lost 15 kilos. I wouldn't have been able to do that before.
See, that's because you've been keeping busy.
Okay. Now, so you got 2 9-kilo bottles. They're both full, but they are built in with the new gas regulation bottles.
Yep.
So they actually have a safety valve built in.
Stop them.
So you can turn them on, nothing comes out. Now, it's got an external thread. So it's got that external one. It still does have the old-fashioned style one, but it's just a matter of screwing it on.
When you're travelling, is it
You turn 'em
wiser
off.
to have them
Always have them.
uncoupled?
No, just turned off.
Okay, just turned off.
So what you need to do is select the bottle you want to use. You've got a toggle here that can switch between both bottles. So select the bottle, use it up, then switch over and use the other one. Leave it on the one so you know which one it is. Don't forget to fill it back up, otherwise you never hit the end of it. He's done that before, hasn't he?
No.
I can tell you, Ban Springs service station doesn't have gas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I know that.
At the free caravan, ran out.
And went across the road and couldn't get it.
Couldn't get it, yes.
Ban Springs doesn't have much at all nowadays.
Great free cab.
Lucky you don't have to get in there very often.
No, I'd probably climb up one over the top next time. So water supply, so that runs on whatever water you're using at the time. So it's just cold water, so it runs on tanks or main.
Yep.
The chains have little hooks here, so they can
keep them out of the way.
Yep. Righto, the bunch of monkeys.
Oh.
A lovely set of keys. Yeah, don't swear. So basically there's 2 keys for every lock. Most locks have 2 locks on hatches, so you get lots of spares. I will break down a set for you And then you can sort out another set over a cold beverage.
Yeah.
And argue over the easiest set.
Thank you.
Oh, who said they're yours then? Now, so this one, slightly different. It's a little half moon key. So it goes into these ones, and you actually rotate them.
Oh,
So you
okay.
rotate around to lock them. And in this side, you get a nice big storage compartment. Now it does have a rubber seal on them, so they do bed in over time, so they're adjustable, so you can tighten them back up again if they start to leak. Now, tunnel boot. So the tunnel boot has a light in it on both sides, so fall through. Just a little touch button on the top of the light.
Okay.
Now you've gone for the awning pack.
Yeah, or the privacy sort of one.
Yep. So it's got the floor mat and the 2 privacy screens. So it's got the end wall and the side wall for it, and the anti-flappers and rafters. Now with your compliance plate that's here,
Yeah.
which way do we end up going? I'll work out your tear for you and your ATM. That should be 3945. I can't see with these damn glasses. 2865. So 630 empty.
Yep.
Now you add
The
the water tanks and the gas bottles. Is that 2 or 3 tanks on this one?
It's got 2 plus drinking water, so 3 all up. Leaves you about
372.
Yeah, I was going to say 300.
Yep, 370. So that's fairly good capacity to add to the van. Just be mindful about how much you're putting in vans these days. Transport are doing an education program.
Yep.
I know they do have a task force over the Christmas period to actually start finding people. People assume that if I dump my water out of my tanks, that lightens my load. No, it's still calculated by transporters. That's what your capacity is.
Uh-huh.
So always make sure that you are under that ATM.
Yep.
So your 3495. Now, best option is to actually get your van weighed, so you know what your ATM is. Get your vehicle the same ATM on your bore weight and your gross combined mass.
Yep.
Now, our service centre does have a full-scale service for $150, so it's well worth getting it done.
Yeah.
It takes about an hour, but then you know exactly
We
the
come
axle
from
weights, all that sort of
Toowoomba,
stuff.
and there's a
Yep.
place.
Mobile guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
So,
it's
yeah,
already
well worth it.
Yeah.
Our van was 310 kilos overweight.
Oh, okay.
Because you just put everything in, you put stuff to go to the beach, you put stuff to go to bush, and you never take the other
anything
stuff
out.
Yep. Soon adds up real quick. Now with these doors, again, rain and dust seals, they are adjustable, so once they're bed in, using them is nice and easy. To open it, just push up the top, lift in, turn in 180, and then open them up. Now always make sure you lower them down gently, because these aluminium hinges, if they do break, you've actually got to pull this frame out and unscrew from the back.
Okay.
So lower them gently. Righto. Now your external awning lights, they have amber and white. So the amber's for your insects, and then individually you've got a split switch inside. I'll show you that later. Unfortunately, you don't get the red button.
Thank God.
It's a pain to set up anyway. It looks
Yeah,
pretty.
but it looks good.
Yeah.
You got a few more to use it on yet.
It's a-
Daniel Craig is back as brilliant detective Ben Margaret with an A-list card, Edward Norton, an L100
Right, now the doors are going to be a little bit different. So it has a tie back. So
Yep.
in the back of the wall, it's got a box in. So you got your normal handle, but you also have these dead bolts. So to operate those, actually turn it the other way. That then dead bolts the door. So when you're closing it, so you've got your normal sort of open and close. But what those dead bolts do is they're tapered with that clamp. So what it'll do, it actually pulls the door in against the seal.
Ah, okay, so it's a bit like these.
But it's nice and tight against that, so it's nice and dust proof. So to operate that one, so it's turn the handle backwards and then turn the key forwards. So key in, turning forward, bring it back to centre, and now it's locked. Always make sure it's locked before you travel.
Yep.
I call this one a suicide door because it faces forward.
So it picks up the breeze.
If it's not locked, they fly open whichever way they are. So always make sure it's locked before you travel. Right. It doesn't come open, you're all good to go. So unlock it, obviously go the other way. So back with the key and forwards with that latch.
And the little wheel at the top is just as a bump stop.
Warning, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The reason for that, it's got a nice sharp corner on it. Now, when you're putting this one out, if you've got kids, make sure you either lock that door or bring it back and tie it back. Because when it's down here, when you're putting it out, yep, that nice little sharp corner will run through and do a nice little moon cut on your awning skin. I've seen a couple of kids. Either lock it and don't come out of it until that awning's up. But we'll go through that process.
Yeah.
Now inside, so standard up door opener, lift it up to latch it, and then snip key which actually then locks the door completely. Now to separate the two doors, you've got a security screen on this side, so just turn him over to the side, and then they separate. It's got a midgie screen on this one as well.
Yep.
Very nice. And these have these little pins that join together. When you bring them back together, always make sure you hit them both top and bottom clipped in. That way the door will close up nice and easy. It will be nice and secure. External light, so it's got the nice blue ambient one here. Look away when I turn it on because it is really bright. But it also does your step light. Then your step, so it's spring loaded. So I just matter of popping it up and you can go back and push him down the way you go. Highly recommend.
I was just looking
Or
at that.
get another step or upgrade to the double step. The double step's best. Really upgrade and go to electric double step.
Especially as we get more mature, right?
No, I'm just lazy. It's all about getting to that first beverage.
Yeah.
3.5 minutes.
Oh, you got it worked out.
From the time I stop to the time I've got everything set up, joining out, and then it'll be apparently.
So that's our goal, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll beat it. No pressure. Righto, so in here, I'll just do this cabinet first so I can turn this down. So entertainment cabinet. So in here you've got your TV bracket. That little clip is just to hold the bracket in when it's in there. So it goes that side. That's on, it just stops from getting knocked up. 12-volt power supply for the TV. I'll turn that down now. And then you've got your coax and your satellite input. And this one is for your audio, so you can do surround sound. Now with these ones here, this one's a little USB charging point. So it's got the big and the large, but these covers, they swivel around. And all the USB points that are in the van are the same. Now you've got three head units in the van, so you've got one inside for the main unit, you have one out here and then you've got one at the bed, so you can control all the stereo system. So you've got your power on and off. Now you've got, go into your select mode, so you've got your different options. AM, FM, auxiliary, the input for that to the main head unit. You've got Bluetooth to pair it to your phone, and then you've got your optical side of stuff.
Okay.
Big fat fingers. Now you've got your scan. I'm going to get back into manual mode. But yeah, you can go through.
And fine, yeah.
Now with your volume, so it's just that knob, you've got two zones, inside and outside. So you can choose which one you adjust. And go to the inside, tap it again.
After this to talk all things Christmas. Now you and
Tap it again and it does the
one thing we know about her is she is obsessed with her dog. She adores
Up
her
here
dog.
is your presets, so you can go in there, you got all your settings,
Across the country are doing.
etc. out here. Tap on the power button,
Lots of people get their
mutes it as well, and it also turns it off. Now these are marine grade systems, so they can handle the dust and the rain. Well, that's why it also comes with silicon covers. Yep, not that you need them. Now these are your speaker. It's got two speakers and a tweeter. So it's marine grade, dust and water, not high pressure cleaners, so don't blast them with a gurney.
Okay.
Yep. That actually pushes in there, not. So in here is your airbag system. Right. So with this one, you've got your compressor. get a tank drain. So flush that on a regular basis to get rid of the condensation
Yeah,
that
same
builds
as
up
any
in
truck.
there. Yep. Now, the automatic mode is to bring it up to ride height. So once you've got it at ride height, then you put it back into manual, and then you can adjust it. But when you're travelling, put it into auto, get it to ride height, put it into manual, turn off the compressor. It runs on the tank, and will then stay at that ride height as you travel along.
Okay.
Now with that one, if you want to adjust things, so you pull up to camp, you can then go up and down.
On one side or the other.
Yep. You can do those at the same time and pull the process up a bit.
And then the compressor cuts in when it needs to.
Now, stand back, we're getting wet.
A bit water.
Condensation from the aircon. So now put it back into auto,
And
and then it'll go level itself out.
So even when it's levelled out, sometimes there'll be a difference between the pressures.
And then because of the weight of the van. So you've got fridge on one side versus lounge, so one side's heavier than the other.
Yep.
So yeah, so when you're ready to drive off, put it into automatic, your compressor on, make sure that your tank's full, when the compressor shuts down, put it into manual.
Turn the power off.
Yep, and away you go.
Okay.
It does have a line out,
Yeah.
so with that it's got two little curly hoses and a air filler and gauge, so you can do tyres and stuff like that as well. Nice and simple. We'll turn them off for now. Righto. This one is your picnic table or cocktail bar, whatever you want to call it. Now it's plastic, so it's not heat rated, so no naked flames.
Okay.
It does get heat affected. But it does have a 240 outlet, which you can use any sort of kettle toast or that type of stuff. If you're going to use air fryers and stuff like that, I'd put a breadboard or something behind that to sort of radiate that heat.
Push
But
it away.
definitely no naked flames. Now putting it away, it also has a little light in here, little light, so you can
Oh, yeah.
see on there.
And that just pushes up and down, was it?
Yep, just a little toggle switch.
Oh, yeah.
Does it switch itself off and
No.
shut it, or you have to?
No, still the old manual fashion, old
No,
fashioned
that's okay.
No.
So toggle, so it slides.
Oh, slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Toggle. Now storing it away, nice and easy, just pop those ones up. It's just got these slide latches, so slide that.
Oh, so it doesn't have a key or anything for
No,
that one.
yeah,
That's good.
just straight up and locked on. But yeah, always just make sure they are actually clipped in, because they can sit like that. Make sure it's pushed in. Now tyre pressures, so 55 psi is recommended when you're fully loaded. It does have a jack. You're lucky enough you also have the Trailmate version of the jack.
Oh, okay,
in
yeah.
This one. So on it, it has a clamp, it's like
Yeah.
a hydraulic jack, so it's got a clamp that's on there, it's got an arm that sits in under here,
Yeah.
which has got a groove.
So
And
be
that
able
will
to
lift the
grab
whole
all
side of the van. Yep, lift it all up, change your wheels. Always make sure you have it on the vehicle or on a jack stand. Don't rely on your jockey wheel. Otherwise, you'll have 3.5 ton
Sitting
bending.
on one
You'll
wheel.
You'll have a banana wheel. So nice and simple.
Okay.
Righto, the awning. These ones are nice and easy as well. As I said earlier, make sure you either lock that door or have it pinned back. Now to unlock and bring this awning out, it's a simple process. It's a matter of unlocking the arms, unlocking the roller ratchet, and then bringing it all up, setting it all out, and putting it into position. So to unlock the arms, it's basically this arm's a 3-step process, that one's just a 2. So I'm going to get a little stick because I'm not that damn cool. So unlocking the arms, you've got a knob on the back here, so you just undo that one.
Loosen it off so that.
Loosen that one off.
Yep.
Then up the top here, so this is the lock for it. So that's just, I squeeze them together, slide
to
that
make
one
it easier.
around. Yep. They are tight. Same on this end. So it's 2 for there, 3 for this one. So again, undoing that knob, sliding out that lock, and then undoing that ratchet. So I hold this because it flexes.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't matter pulling it down. Away we go. Now we've got the strap, so we just hook into that one and pull him out. Always make sure they come out together, that way it's going to be nice and smooth. If it doesn't, because he's lazy, go and give him a hand to make sure he's right. It doesn't matter, just bring him all the way out. Now there's 2 theories. You can either have this seam here at 9 o'clock. That way the water runs straight off it, or if you pull it all the way up, this one then becomes a gutter. So you need to make sure when it goes up,
So it
that
runs one way to the
that we
other.
tilt it so that they go with the lower the land, and the water's not going to sit in here and pool up and destroy your skin.
So this here is just where
Yep. So that's where people will be putting it in the same spot. So that material just builds up and puts that pressure on it. So what I do when I put them away is actually taper it slowly. That way it's just
Moving
not
along.
on itself, and you don't get that rippling happening. The sun will accent, it'll go back out away. So now we've got that one out. So we have to bring out the top arm. So with these ones, they log in with these little clips.
Yep.
But to unlock them, it's just going to push down. You can pull them from here, but I find, because they're little clips, plastic clips that lock in together, if you pull them here, they actually pull apart. And there's a little spring in there that goes twing.
Ah,
So
and then you
I-
can't find it.
Yeah, I just push them down that way, they won't fall apart.
Okay.
But yep, so you lock in, we do the same on the other end. So you can either do this together or do it by yourself and get lots of steps up.
Yeah, well, steps are good.
Yep. Now we need to, that one's locked in, so we need to raise this up. Now you'll notice where that door is sitting and how close it is to that really sharp corner.
Oh, yeah, yep.
So if it's a windy day,
It can
make
be
sure
rubber.
you lock that door.
Yeah.
So otherwise, yeah, it can sit on there and that nice little sharp point will see it's probably sitting on there.
Yeah, I can just see
Yeah.
just there.
So yeah. So then we lift this little handle up. So it's got a lock on it, little pin that goes in. So grab the handle, both other hand, lift him up to about head height, then that'll drop into that pin.
And just make sure it goes into a hole.
Yep. Same on this end. Now that we've got that up, you'll notice that then I always like to double check this thing to make sure it is clear. See, it's probably not high enough. Now you've got rafters in there,
Yep.
so always make sure you put a rafter in.
So the rafters,
Go into those brackets there. I'll
So
show you
the-
how to do that
okay,
shortly. Again, because it's nice and high, clears your head, but it's not going to clear that door.
Because-
So always make sure you put those rafters in.
Yeah.
That will then support the material up and away from that door. So we need to then put some strength in this one here, because at the moment it's all floppy. You get a wind, it'll take off. So we need to pull that skin nice and tight. So to do that, put some downward pressure on this lower arm. That pulls that tight, and then we can tighten this one off. And then get that nice and secure, and the skin tight.
and do the same on the other one.
Other end, yep. This one you can just wrap around,
Just get it out of the way.
So it
basically.
doesn't flap.
and then tie it off. Or you can buy the Navigator buddy. It actually folds up into and sits up there as well. Right. So rafters.
Bright orange one.
It goes with his motorbike.
So that's the anti-flap sort of one?
Yeah. Rafters are in underneath, so I'm just going to make them line up now up here. Oh, this is not good on it.
So I take it you regularly caravan?
Yeah, I think we're about 12 years in,
Okay.
and two bands over the time. Righto. So this is the rafter. Now, both of they're all the same in their fittings. So this one's got a little angle bracket.
Yep.
So what it does, it needs to go in to the bracket that's up on there, and then lift up and go into the pinhole here. So to do that, we need to have that nice and flat, so it goes up and in. Now, if you have it on an angle, it won't go in. So straight up and down, and straight with it. I just loosen off that knob, and then push him up into there.
And they are curved too, so that's good.
So the curve, so then push the skin up so it's nice and clear. Check. Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of clearance on it now. I always put both of those in. You don't have to put the anti-flappers up every time, like just overnight. Just pop those two in. You know, it's nice and safe. It's not going to go anywhere. You know, if a shower in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and fills up with the skins about here, you're a screaming wife. Learn from my mistakes, but also make sure that one's locked in.
Oh, by doing that up after
Yeah,
you finish.
tighten that one up.
Okay. So with those privacy screens there, is there one for this end as well? Or is it just one for
Just
the...
one,
Yeah, one for
one
the-
on this end, one on the wall.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's 2 loose screws in there.
Yeah, it's the screws for the hubcaps for the spare wheel. Right, where are we? This one. So these ones go together.
Yep.
Anti-flapping. Now the tunnel boot is long enough so you can actually leave them
Leaving
together.
it together. So it's just a matter of sliding it in.
Slide them in. I just tighten them up together. So now you've got the pin end on the other end again. So what we need to do is need to unlock the clamp,
Yep.
because that's the one that actually clamps on the material. Now these are going to work out which side's which. Is the wide side goes to the outside.
Okay.
So you got
down
this
there.
end. Yep.
One side goes to the outside.
Now again, we go up flat against the wall almost. Goes in nice and easy. Now, with this end, need these holes about 15 mil from the top of the skin, or bottom of the skin. Otherwise, it'll pull down on that material over time and damage it. So, then we can put him in here. Now, because it's not easy to get in, just make sure that end. It's all about holding them out, right? So yeah, and make sure I try and keep it parallel with this arm here. That way you get that clamp away from that material.
Oh, yeah.
Right, just take your time. You're not in a rush.
No.
So then we roll this one in.
And then open it up to go right in.
Yeah. So we get them right in. Push them apart so they are locked in. And then we can clamp this down. So this is the point where we need to make sure that that's not putting too much pressure on it. So you'll see if I roll that out, how much it pulls that down.
Oh, yeah, yep.
So just make sure it actually isn't tight. But yeah, if you roll yours out, it's in the right spot. So then we go through. I actually like to pull this one here and then clamp them off. That way we get that nice and tight on there. And do that all the way through.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
get yourself a little 2 or 3 step ladder. I know you're tall, but you're not that tall.
I'd be getting shorter as I was going if I keep doing that one.
Yeah, and do the JC thing. It's just too old for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, once you've got that locked in.
And that's just your sail track down there.
Yeah. So you've got sail track outside
Yep.
and sail track inside. So you can use either one for whichever one you want to do.
That's the smart way to do it.
Yep. Now this one is really good for if you get one of those porches. So you can then put a porch out the
front
the
there.
back,
Yeah.
gives you a bit more shelter. Right. Nice and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so putting that material in is you feed it in through the centre.
Yes.
So feed it in through there, take it up the top, then turn the other side and feed it through down to the bottom. It's the easiest way to get it in there.
And with the leg,
Yep.
so you can take him off there and stand him up.
and spring him out. Yep, that's my next step.
Okay.
But also, so make sure that these are all locked off, all locked in place, and away you go. I also, if you're going to spend a couple of days, make sure you tie it down.
Yes.
So it's roped down, so it's nice and secure. Righto, so removing this one. Now, again, lower him down. Try and keep it
Hey,
nice and
Jose,
straight.
you know the cooktops that
And it pops out. If you leave it loose,
It's easy to.
a bit more bloody managed, so it's easy just to tighten it up. That way it's not going to fall apart on you. And then just clamp these ones back up. Like to stow them away again. You can either pull them apart or leave it whole.
Yeah.
Depends how much space you've got.
Oops, sorry.
It's all good. Righto. Now, if you want to, you bring this arm out. Come back.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So with these, the lock on here is spring loaded, so you need to hold it open when you bring it out. If you're going to put your anti-flappers on, make sure you bring this leg out first before you put the anti-flappers on, because if you watch that one, that rolls around as you take it out, so they potentially fall out. So to bring this one in, out as a leg, you don't want to have it in this full length, otherwise it's 12 feet in the air. So you just bring it down about 3/4, or I just take it down to this sort of last holes here.
Yeah.
Should give you the right height. So then push that one back and walk him out.
Oh, yeah.
Then you can readjust your height to suit.
Yep.
Now, when it's in this position,
Like that, pulls out.
yep, there it goes. It's going to need to do this one up tight. Just slide it back in. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is always make sure you have that one tight before you pull this leg out. I thought I'd tighten that one off. That way, make sure you now peg that down in the here, and then put a tie down or a strap or a rope on it, so it's nice and secure. This is position is where it's most vulnerable
Okay.
to puff of wind. So once you've got it secured down, then go through with retention. Get that sitting nice and tight again. That way the rope holds it while you try and do that.
Okay, yeah.
And then you're good to go. Sit down and have a little cold beverage again for the next one. Now, unfortunately, you've got to go home eventually, so you're going to pack it up.
Yep.
So just bringing it back in and locking it in with that one. So sometimes they get a bit of dirt and stuff in there, they get stuck. So do make sure that it is locked in. Take him back out. Him away. So now to bring it all back in, we need to lower it. So we need to lower the lower arm and then bring the upper arm in, and then it rolls up. So lower him down, take him all the way down to that silver bolt where it sits on. Again, same on the other end. And now we need to bring this upper arm in. So undo the knob, push down a little grey button, slide him down.
Leave him loose. But not.
Yeah, leave the knob loose. So it makes sure he's all the way down. Yep. And for us vertically challenged, use the stick. Now these are spring loaded, so make sure you hang on to the strap at all times, otherwise it'll slam into the wall. So pull down on it, release that trigger here in the roll up position.
Oh, that was that same catch.
Yeah, so it's in the roll up, roll down position. Slide him back up. As I said, I just taper that across.
Do you need to put some pressure on that you're hanging on to,
You need to hold on to it.
so that
The
it,
ratchet actually.
but it also rolls tighter?
No,
It doesn't matter?
doesn't matter. You can hold on whichever way you want it. Still
Okay.
roll up with the got OCD like I have. I just hold in that position, that way it's not going to pop out of there. Climb him all the way back up, nice and gentle to the wall, don't let it slam. So that's automatically locked back in at the top. And then we just lock off the arms. So again, just push them together, slide him around, makes it light. Turn him to the left and lock him on. Same with that one. Always make sure they are nice and tight. Otherwise they won't undo themselves. I also give them a little bit of a pull. Otherwise, because that's not locked in, they'll drop and smash on the road. And you replace the whole arm, and if it gets really ugly.
Oh.
Yep. Not a pleasant experience.
No.
Part supply is a challenge. So
Yeah.
No worries. And you're ready to travel.
Uh-huh.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
I will get you to do a couple of goes at that at the end to make sure you're comfortable with it,
Uh-huh.
and have that sequence in your head, so it makes it easier. So when you pull up with the first caravan park, all the old fellas aren't giving you grief. I was trying to show you how it's done. You look like an expert. Not a trip under pressure.
No.
Righto. Now I'll just grab the bucket.
Okay.
He's much taller than I.
Because it's got the height.
So you've got the work light up the top there, your camera, so it's a full rear vision, so when your monitor's installed in your vehicle, you'll be able to see behind you, use it for reversing. Some of the tricks and tips I can give you for reversing, and stop some of those robust discussions. Communication's the key. Be familiar with where you're backing into before you even start. So get out and have a look at your site where you're going into. Look for trees, look for branches, the power pole, the water tap, and those lovely little bollards.
Yep.
Then get a plan in place and communicate that with each other. Okay, this is where I want to put it, this is where I need to put my wheel to get it to come in against that slab, all that type of stuff. So then both of you know what the other person's thinking. So then do that. The other tip is use the camera, but also use the vehicle mirrors. So if the person at the back can't see the mirrors, the driver can't see you. I don't always assume that a man is the driver neither, because I find my wife backs better than I do, and I'm better at giving instructions. So you'll work it out, I'm sure. The less heated, robust discussions, the better. You enjoy the trip.
Sounds good.
So this one's a vent for the back of the shower, so the shower's a sealed unit, so just let it breathe,
Okay.
so there doesn't be any condensation or moisture in it. And then you've got your external shower. So it's key locks, and believe it or not, it's a black key. It should be. But you know, or it's one of these. Oh, mate. Good on them. It's the same as the other ones. There it is. So all the Chemic ones are these little rounded, keys. So your tunnel boot and toilet. It's this squarish one is the shower. So now this one, the reason I pull this one out to demonstrate to you how long it takes to get water from any of the hot water taps. I hope I'll cut that on. Oh, yep. I also get to clear any air that's in the line. So that now, that hot water service would have kicked in. So because of the way the hot water service works, it takes a bit of time for it to kick in, start to heat the water to get it up to temperature, and then you're going to drag that, then we'll get that hot water to the back door. Just turn that bottle open.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah,
Just
3 to 5 litres.
Cold.
I've actually filled your bubbles. Normally it would have water by then. Oh, no. So yeah, it's not kicking in. I don't think there's gas in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's happened there. I know because we've been pushing so many vans out, they keep running out of gas on our service centre. Look at that. But yeah, it's about that much water that it takes to actually get to the back to any of the taps. So the trick to those is only just crack your hot water tap on about quarter, get that machine to fire up. Once it's fired up, then you can crack it up open and you can save about 3 litres.
Okay.
There is a company in Toowoomba that does a water valve.
Yeah,
So it's
the
in
version
Enviro
valve.
Yep. So it diverts, so it's like Enviro Water Saver it's called. It's just a T-valve that's got a heat sensor in it.
Yep.
So it just pushes that hot water back to the tank, back into the system,
Until it gets
and then
wet.
it gets hot, then it opens up. So you can either do like one in every outlet if you wanted to, or you just put one sort of halfway through your system to then sort of push that water, which reduces in that you can lose, especially
Yeah,
when
so the water goes back into the tank.
Yep. That way, or back into the system. So just circulate it. I think is the easiest way to do it. I've set mine up so that it comes out of the hot water unit and then back into the hot water. So it just goes around in a circle.
Oh, so you TP's just
which
before it
heats
goes
up.
in.
Yep, which heats it up quicker. So you invest water again. So. But then if you want, then you've got to do bypass systems when you're on mains. But we do 90% off grid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really only off grid that it's a problem when you're on mains water. It doesn't matter how much we waste apparently. I live on tank water, so I'm treated
Always.
very preciously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in central Queensland. So. But always depressurise these ones. That way the code's nice and easy to use. So you put that back up again. I'm just going to clear any air that might be in the front. You hear it flooding a little bit. If you get air on the line, so when you run out of tank, it'll start to suck air. Turn your tap off straight away and switch your tanks over. That way, if you get the system's designed to push water and pressurise against it, it can't do that with air in the system, so it'll sit there and try and push.
Yeah.
Drive you mad. Only way to do that is to clear that air out of the lines by running the taps.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure they're both off. Depressurise it. Put that in my pocket. Now these ones do come on a couple of little clips, so it's a sort of bracket that
Oh, to hold it so
you
you
can actually sit in that, or you can mount it to your wall, etc.
hands free.
So rear bar. So with these rear bars, they're rated quite well. But just remember, every time you put weight on the back of a van, takes weight off your ball weight.
Yep.
So you've got 40 kilos with water, potentially up to 60 kilos or more with wood, and 32 kilos with a spare tyre. So that's probably 130 odd plus weight on the back. So when you do that, it takes half. So every kilo you put on here is half a kilo off your ball weight. So you've got 130, you can sort of take 60 plus off that front. So just be mindful of that, because
Yeah.
otherwise, you got a light front, the back will
Want to
heavy
swing.
back, it'll wag its tail on you.
Bad dog.
Yep.
What's that one?
So it's actually a plug thing. Actually, this bar is actually removable. So it's got 4 U-bolts, so you
Oh,
can take it
okay.
off if you want to.
So the lights and stuff.
Yep, but it's also you can move it in and out as well. So there are lots of options with that.
Okay.
So it just disconnects your lights. Righto, the job all the ladies like to do.
Yep.
If I have to, I do it.
Yep. Now, so you've got the SOG. So basically, you just got to lift that green tab up, pull him out. Let me just pop that one off. Now you've got a couple of grab handles, so you've got this one here, and then you've got to pull out a set of wheels. So nice piece of carry-on luggage. Oh, a bit of bloody building material.
Yeah.
Throw that one away. You'll find lots of that around the
Yes,
place.
yeah.
Yep.
So that one there, the clear one?
Yep, that's a breather to the outside as well. That's a standard breather that comes with
Okay.
them, but you've got the SOG. So to empty them, so just swivel this one around, take off that cap. It's slippery, so make sure you take it off, put it away from the dump point. Otherwise, someone's going fishing or off to the corner shop. Now to empty it, so you've got an air release, so you need to get it down nice and close to the dump point. Hold that one down in and pour it in. That way it'll come out nice and quick in one steady flow. Once you've done that, throw some more fresh water through, go through and wash that out, flush it out so you've got nice clean water coming out. Away you go. Now inside here, you'll hear that rattle. What that is, that's the float for the indicator for the level in the cassette. So you only need to get in here if you need to do some maintenance side of stuff. So it just slides back. You'll notice there's a bit of grease in there, so just make sure you keep a bit of Vaseline on that, because that helps keep that sealed. So when the stuff goes through, it goes through in one and doesn't leak out. Now to get in to inspect that float, just going to pushing that green one, sliding out. That's your inside handle to open and close this for use. You'll see there's a white float there.
Yep.
So if it's moving freely like that, it's all good. If it's not, it's probably got an obstruction, so just get the hose and give it a bloody flush out. You shouldn't have any dramas in. But that's the only time you want to get in there to do that maintenance. So yeah, normally there's another fitting that goes onto here and locks into there, but you've got to solve it. So popping him back in, pop him back in there. There is a little fitting on there. So when you take this off, there's another one goes in there to blank that. So when you're emptying it, you're not getting
It coming out the side.
Yep. But always make sure that that green tab is locked back in. It does have an indicator lock to tell you, a light to tell you that it's not in. So it has a charcoal filter in there. So there's two little screws here you can undo, take that cover off to clean it out, wash it out. But yeah, they're usually pretty good. So fridge, so it needs cool air to come in this end and the hot air to go out the top. This one here's your drain for inside the fridge, so when there's condensation it builds up, it comes out and drains out here. Now your filler hoses, the filler for your tanks. So when they're spinning they're all locked.
Magical thing.
Yep. I've got a little sheet, a hack I can show you.
Oh yeah.
So what we want to do is actually get the water into the tank as quickly as possibly as we can. So I just 13mm irrigation fittings from Bunnings, this little click connector, so you don't have to just click it onto that white hose and feed it in.
Get that
and
down
feed it
into
your tank.
it, sort of thing.
Yep, pushing that water in. Let's see if I can work out the right key. First go, no. Second go, yes. So you just turn them to unlock. Put anything's unlockable and pull it and comes out. So what you want to do is then throw this one down as far as we possibly can, forcing that water into it, and away it goes. Turn on your tap. You can just have the straight bulb, straight fitting and go straight in if you want. But what we want to do is actually push that water in, getting the air out of the tank. So the air comes out of a little breather at the top here.
And if you're
So-
trying to fill it just from the front here, then you're sort of
It's
blocking
going
it.
to be, well, and it's slow as 7 minutes using this method.
Okay.
It's all about efficiency for me.
And getting back to the beer.
Back to the beer. Yep. Now, if you're getting water coming out of here, keep going. You want it coming out of that little breather in a nice steady stream. That way you know there's no air left in your tank. It's
Okay.
full. Otherwise you're going to turn up with half a tank and you'll never live it down. Learn from my mistakes. You'll hear a lot of that today. 12 years in caravanning.
Yeah.
Probably 35 years camping.
Done most of them, eh?
Yeah, and we do all of ours off-grid or remote.
So that's where the water comes back out then?
Yep.
Right.
So now, this is your two tanks. So you have for your mains ones, which will be these two ones here.
Yep.
So you can isolate off a tank if you want. So you can shut one off, use that tank. When it starts to splutter, turn him off, then open up that one. Always recommend using your back tank first. That way you're not keeping that weight at the front. So use your back one up, then switch over and use that front one. This one here is your mains water. So that white hose again connects direct to that. Turn off your pump and away it goes. It'll use those main supply. In behind here is a little brass fitting called a mains pressure reduction valve. What that is, it's just a brass valve with a piston in it to manage that flow. Yep. Now, best way to stop having any dramas with it is put a cap over that one. That way no dirt or hornets will build a nest in it. I just use a little click connector with the silicone on the end of it. Just pops over that, it's done.
Okay.
If that does get jammed open or closed, it's just a matter of pulling it off. There's two spanner locks on either end of it, a couple of shifters and pull it apart. Clean it out, put it back together and away you go again.
Okay.
Right. But if you keep that capped, you won't have too many dramas.
And this one here's your...
Your grey water.
Yep.
So it's got a grey water tank. So up in underneath there is the big red tap. So it's just a matter of opening that one up, letting all that water drain out. The only time you really need to close your grey water tank off is when you're required to, like national parks and that
or
type
whatever.
of stuff. It's only a little 65 litre tank, so it doesn't take much to fill up. So just be mindful of that. You may need another cartridge if you're going to stay there for a long period of time. You'll need to be able to
Cart it away.
Cart it away. Yep. But I always leave mine open when I'm travelling. That way, it's getting all that water that's in the grey water line.
So it doesn't bypass it, it all goes through the tank.
All goes through that tank. So leave it open that way. When you travel, it'll flush out. Some people don't like it because it gets splashed while they drive behind you. Tough. It's only about 3 litres, so it doesn't take that long to empty.
Yeah, whatever's left.
Whatever's left. Yeah. What are the dirt road?
Yeah. Lay the dust.
Yep. So yeah, that's nice and easy. It's just it's got a little barb fitting. That black hose just slides straight onto it. Got the jack point over this side.
Yep. What's this one up here?
That's the exhaust for the 3-way fridge. So yours is 3-way, so it uses
3-way? I thought it was just compressor.
No, that one's a 3-way. So it's got 240 gas and 12 volt. So the 3-way. That's unusual. That is unusual.
Yeah, because I thought it was just a compressor.
Yeah, no. Depends on which one you'd have to look at your spec sheet that you signed off on as to what was in there. So some of them come as standards, the 3-way, some they upgrade to a compressor fridge.
But in the, what's the better one sort of thing? What?
I personally love 3-way. They're all automatic these days.
Okay.
It's basically set and forget. They're really good. I prefer 3-ways because
You can use your gas.
You use the gas, and you're not draining your batteries unless you've got like 600 amp hours of lithium and 1,000 watts of solar.
Yeah.
When you're off grid. So yeah, so exhaust up there. So when it's on 240 or gas, that's where the exhaust get that heat out. So it runs on ammonia. So it's the gel at the bottom that gets heated up, goes around, becomes a gas, then cools the condenser, comes back down, and it does that circle of life. This is a vent screen under your vents. The vents there, or your bloody cover. Basically, that's in there to vent that cavity of there. So that's where your batteries are.
Yep.
So with lithiums, they do get quite warm. It's great in window because you get a nice warm bump. Another 12 volt socket, and your gas hot water service, so it's instant. Basically, it's just maintenance free. Just turn the tap on, away you go.
Okay.
External TV antenna, nice and simple, and your common earth or ground for the van.
Yep.
So don't remove it, just leave it in there, paint it if you don't really like the brass screw. So now this one's your actuator for your disc brakes.
Yes.
So that one, when we plug that car in, we should hear that kick in if your car's wide right.
Better be.
Hope so.
Yeah.
We'll soon find out the hard way. Okay, yep. And down under here is a grey Anderson plug.
Okay, yeah.
So that one's for a solar input. So if you've got a blanket or a panel,
Yeah,
plug that
put
one
it
in. Yep. And gauge some more power supply. That one's your exhaust for your heater.
Yep.
Now the bag here is your maintenance pack and warranty card for your RV guard. So
Okay.
you just go
Yep.
onto their website, register your warranty, and see how and gives you the instructions for your maintenance on that finish. Again, tunnel boot has a light on it, and the switch here is for your work light out the front.
Ah, okay. I was wondering what it was for.
Yep. Now those work lights, because of the shape of the wall and the shape of the light, that direction at the moment, it'll whistle. Anything about over 60k an hour, you'll hear a whistle. But it's weird. The first time I heard it, I thought it was a brake squealing. The next time I heard it, I thought it was a chain dragging. So what you can do to reduce it is actually angle that so the light actually faces down and directional with that wall.
And
So that's where you want it. And that, well, it doesn't stop it, it'll reduce it. It's not as loud. So, and lots of people have tried different ways to stop it, you just can't.
Okay.
It's because of the way the light will
And
interact
the
with each
gap
other.
there, so the air rushing through.
Just through and just whistles its little head off. And then you got your storage on the other side.
Yep.
Same seal and match. And now you got your legs. That's that crank handle for you. Electric jack. Now, so you got your support legs. So these are only a support legs, so they're not designed to leveling or jacking the van. So it's got a release handle, so just pull that release, lower him down, and lock him back in. Now you can either have it straight up and down, or you can have it out to the front. So it just depends, some people have different options. They say when it's out the front slightly, it's a little bit more stable.
Because you could have the other one out the back. Sort
out
of
the
thing.
back, so yeah. But I'm a straight up and down person. You'll work it out, works for you. So then it's just a matter of winding it all the way down. So wind it down on the ground, give it a couple extra cranks. Yes, you can use a cordless drill, but make sure it has a ratchet on it, because it runs on 2 little aluminium cogs. So the one that's on that, and they spin on each other. An impact driver will destroy them. It'll either strip the teeth or shear the pin.
Yeah, so you're
I've
talking
done 3
more-
over the years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking more like a
That's a cordless drill with a ratchet.
yeah. So
I'll
like a
actually relieve it.
screw setting.
Yep. But yeah, 19mm socket and away it goes, up and down, nice and simple, nice and quick.
So what's the little?
Tie down points.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then putting it away, again, say pull the lever, lift him up. Always make sure it's locked, nice and locked in. So you've got your full-weight wheel brace and that trail mate jack.
Oh, yeah.
Use it. Same as that one there, you see the clamp.
The
that's
blue
on
one.
The side there you go. Nice and easy to use. I've got one that's 10-year-old and I still haven't used it.
Touch
That's
wood.
good.
Yep. Okay, so that's basically it for the outside.
What's that red thing?
Red things are the cap also.
Yeah,
Okay.
DO35.
That's okay.
Because there's keys there too.
Yeah, all keys to the padlocks. All keys
So
to
you were
your
saying the
focus
gas bottles
stick. Hey, I'll
are...
have to pull one out and have a look, see if it's empty or not, or whether they're full.
Sorry. Oh.
Normally they're full ones, they've run out the bloody workshop again. I've clearly forgotten. Yeah, empty.
Which is why the hot water wasn't working.
Yeah, both are empty. Sorry about that. I don't have gas here neither, or fuel. I don't even have a van here with gas on it. I'll see if I can steal another one. Because all the ones that come down that have got gas that are full are customers that are going out.
Yeah.
So, I'll see if I'll swap one around because you're at Toowoomba. Okay, so any questions for the outside?
Don't think so.
Yep. We'll you need a break at all?
No, I'm pretty right. Over you.
Yep.
25%. Do you want to change the battery?
You can if you like.
Then we'll do the inside.